This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Sean Cole, and welcome to today's edition of the Pit Stop, where you guys, the pit crew, are the real star of the show, and you want a perfect example of you guys being the star of the show or being the whole point here. But John Hill, thank you for that. I just posted. That's why we had a little black screen there. I was very quickly trying to get the Facebook preview. The amount of steps I go through just to get this show going each and every morning, and you know, you'd think I'd have my checklist, but I don't. I don't. You've seen me race enough to know that I'm not real good with my checklists. But I do know the importance. I just don't seem to do very well with it. So anyway, welcome to the show. Happy Tuesday to everybody. I hope you're all having a good week so far. And we are here just to talk amongst ourselves about sim racing. What's going on in our favorite hobby, sport, or common interest, whatever you want to call it. Excuse me. So let's get right to it. IGN has a really cool picture. And, you know, this is pretty amazing, actually. This is a game versus real-life photo of the exact same spot on one of the tracks in Forza Horizon 4. And I will give credit where credit is due, but, you know, you can't really tell the difference. I mean, like, if someone didn't write game, if I were to reverse game and real life, it would probably take you a little while to detect the difference. Ellis, do I have to do that? I do have some gray. I thought about it. I'm like, you know, I'm bald. I don't wear a hat. I'm short. I don't wear lifts. I'm gray. I haven't dyed it, you know. I could consider it. It'd be fun to play with. Anyway, thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate it. It does help the wheels turn over here. So anyway, my hat's off to Forza because what do we want out of games? We want realism. Realism is handling, its sounds, its physics, and it's also the visuals. I mean, if you've been somewhere and they give you an image that is wrong, a reference point that is wrong, your brain will fight it. So great job by the guys at Forza. I'm impressed. Perhaps you are as well. I'm going to keep mentioning it even though I don't even have a clue as to what's going on and how it's going. Keep the distinguished look, or what I should do is just move my microphone like right there. If I were to just put that right there. Michael Clark, Granda Taco for Max. Taco Tuesday, everybody. Thank you, Michael, for reminding me it's Taco Tuesday. But the Forza RC Pro-Am update with the team thing is going on, and it looks like TX3 Hard BR is leading the way. And that team has a 215.660, the only team to break into the 215s. So, more going on with that competition with the team leaders, and I don't, you know, I haven't paid much attention, so I mention it to you guys so that you can look for it if that's something that really piques your interest. You know, that's the point of the Simpit pit stops. I can't give you every last detail on every single thing going on, and some things are within my radar, some things are sent in to me. I'm really telling you about these stories so that you can find the deep details of their stories that you're into. So anyway, that's at Forza Horizon or Forza Motorsport Twitter feed, and you can find out more about, see that image, which is again quite awesome, and check out that leaderboard and that whole competition. Formula One game is showing off the new Williams, well, the old Williams, the 2003 Williams FW25, and asking you which is your favorite angle of the car. With a cool little GIF. Actually, a pretty well done GIF. It almost looks and plays like a video. I tried to pause it, though, and it wouldn't do any such a thing. A cockpit-only series, or at least have that as a toggle, like a forced driving aid. You know, can you turn it on? Can you turn it off? That would be cool, too. I thought I had one more thing on F1. Nope, I don't. I just want to give you a heads up on the Rally Poland starts up next week. So, June 28th is when the Rally Poland opens up. If you want to get in on the online esport event with WRC. And someone told me that it does, in fact, work with controls. So I don't know why I was having problems. I am going to have to fire that one up again. And maybe we'll get the patron guys to all attack. If you guys, I'd love to see somebody show me a screenshot that you went after this. I just want to see what the leaderboard is. I want to see how competitive it is, and you guys can let me know if you get there first. Assetto Corsa, more, you know, Assetto is going to be the big news for a while, just to forewarn you guys. Don't get bored about competizione and all the press that's going to come out as this game gets closer and closer to release. You know, when you think of them, I would absolutely call Assetto Corsa in the top big 3 sims. And with them coming out with a new variation, it's a very, very big deal. So we're going to hear more and more about it. There is a video from a driver. This guy used to sim race. He's also a real-life racer. And he got a really good article here. So this is at David Perel, Perel.net. And it's an article on Assetto Competizione. And he talks about things that we want to know. So he got more time with it than I did. Let's just make that clear. Track accuracy. He talks about the importance of it and how good they did. Car handling. He talked about what they did really well, but he also did mention areas of improvement. He talked about the ABS brakes. He talked about certain handling aspects of the car. But it's a really good article, and it's well worth the read. You'll find all sorts on it, but you can find that at David Perel. A bunch of people sent me in this one, by the way. This was emailed to me at least by 3 different people today, just so you know. Another thing on Google, not on Google, this is on Google Translate through Drive Italia, right? Yeah, Driving Italia. And this is Assetto Corsa Competizione, the details of a test at Misano. So same thing, some cool pictures of what it looked like at the event. So if you go to Driving Italia, you'll find this in Italian. I'm on Google Translate to be able to, the links are on the webpage, Sean. These links are on the webpage, Sean. I'm not sure what you mean, Stan. I'm slow. Okay, so in addition to that, what else? Cool pictures of what was going on at the event. So things that we really haven't seen. I've seen those. So some great images of what we're going to see at a Competizione as it continues to make get more eyes on it at these special events. And you can continue to see them, I'm assuming, at the next Blancpain event as well. I think they're just, my guess is they're going to tour with the series. I would do that for sure. Next up, iRacing. Not too big a deal, but they did have their Tech Hub event at Sonoma. And so one person who did drive the Sims, that's Tony Gardner right there. Right there, Guy Ferretti. So you take off some of that jewelry, Guy. You can't sim race with shoes on Thrustmaster pedals, and you certainly can't race with giant rings on your fingers. But anyway, cool to see a celebrity out there giving it a try as well. Looks like SimSeats were supplying the rigs for iRacing. You got a SimSeat rep there. Looks like this guy's in a SimSeat shirt. We saw Tony Gardner in the previous photo in his iRacing shirt there. So that went on at Sonoma. Cool picture of a cockpit in their reception area. And my microphone is so in my way. I need a new microphone. I need a double articulating arm. I need 2 of them because I have another microphone right here. But this thing is just right where I don't want it to be. Just going to give credit where credit is due, also on iRacing, but the Lionheart Retro Series running the Lotus 79, Saunders has really taken over. So the beginning of the season, we did see Adam Blocker doing well. But over the last 3-4 races, I believe it is Saunders, who's now 61 points out in the lead and doing very well in a series that's getting enough attention that they're getting write-ups on iRacing. So consider how much racing, how many millions of miles are run on iRacing, but how many of them get mentioned on the iRacing webpage. So actually, that's one of my complaints about iRacing. They need to do better about letting more people get acknowledged for their efforts. Stan, that's the room where I missed your preview. Never mind. I was basically asking you to find it on this, but I found it in Discord. Oh, the link to that page. Here. Which one was it you wanted? The article from David Perel? I believe that's the one you want. I'm going to put a link here in the chat for anybody who wants it. If that's what you were asking for, Stan. Stan. The crew, so they did their early access. It's up and running. I saw an article that was so cruel, and I didn't bring it up, but it basically summarized the whole review of the Crew 2 as giant, barren, and boring. I don't know what you guys' thoughts. We talked to Billy, said it wasn't the greatest thing in the world. Who else yesterday said it wasn't the greatest thing in the world? It's, you know, still early access, so who knows? They have DLC that is coming. I'm still not quite racing to the Crew. When we clear our schedule for Monday Fun Days, I'll probably get in on it. But there are some issues. PS4 players were unable to access their entitled bonus content. Still under investigation. There was an update that fixed something on the Xbox One. Missing bonus content there. Haven't fixed the PS4 version yet. But the Crew is out there, and it can be played by all of the early access people. Everybody who, I'm assuming that's everybody who pre-ordered the game got early access, if I'm not mistaken. But don't quote me on that. What else? There's a video at IGN. So if you're on the fence about the Crew, IGN literally has, and I like doing this sometimes for certain types of games, just straight up, the first 10 minutes. You know, you have a storyline-based type game. The first 10 minutes are going to play out a lot like you would if you're doing a shooter game, but built for driving. So I'm not going to play any more of the video because I don't want to lose my video here. But if you're into that, check it out at IGN. You can get the first 10 minutes from start to 10 minutes 56 seconds into the game and find out what it's all about. True Achievements has a list of all of the achievement lists for Crew 2. And, you know, it's coming out. So are we going to talk about Crew every day? No. But we are at a big point for them. So if you want to know all the prizes to be won in the game, there's a long list, and you can find that at trueachievements.com. Thrustmaster has a really cool video. So, how fast is the greatest rally car driver of all time? I'm assuming they're claiming Sebastian Loeb to be the greatest of all time. Arguably. You gotta always use the word arguably. And I believe that's Matthew Gallagher. I'm not super knowledgeable in the world, but that's what they have in their title. But, cool video of him trying out Dirt 4, running Thrustmaster equipment, obviously. And you can see by the smile on the face, having a good time. So, if you think something sucks, well, Sebastian's all game face. That was great. That was great right there. So, there you go. Cool video. Check that out at the Thrustmaster Twitter page. And what else? Derek Spear, he's been really teasing his chassis. So, there's another video that just came out. And this one shows you the parts overview of building that MDF rig. I guess there's the parts you're going to need to build it. All the parts that make up the rig. And if you're interested in, I might have to talk to Derek about maybe getting one of those rigs in for review. My only complaint about an MDF rig, and I did the Ricmotech RS one, which is a very, very similar rig, by the way. It'd be interesting to see those side by side. MDF is really heavy. It makes for a heavy rig, so you might want to put some caster wheels on the bottom of it. Speaking of caster wheels, I heard that next level GT track that we got the exclusive first look, and we're going to be getting one of the first in the world to review, that rig has caster wheels on the bottom. That wasn't mentioned in the video. They weren't installed at E3, but I know it does have it, and I think that's a great idea as long as certain stability, like getting in and out, isn't compromised. I'm just not mentioning this because there's a website out there, d3esport.com. These guys have been working for a while, but what they are promoting is the virtual to real. Step 1, sign up for a D3 and mainline GG account and link it to your Xbox. Compete in online esport matches, earning points along the way. And then at the end of each month, the point winner will take on pros for a chance to compete in real life. So, if that sounds inspiring to you, they did mention the word Xbox. So, this is going to be for our Xbox drivers. When I think of Xbox Sims, there really aren't a lot of Xbox Sims. So, it's pretty limited on what they're going to throw at you. Spatial. Caster wheels in motion. What could go wrong? Well played. Yeah, Doug, didn't you get a rig from us? Did you get the RS1? I can never remember. My memory is so mush. So mush. Too much sim racing. I'm going to do a study. It's not that we're all gaming addicts. It's that years of sim racing apparently turn your brain to mush. Or other things. I can't say sim racing is the only torture I do to my brain. Anyway, IGN, they're talking about daily deals from Alienware. I'm not sure if I'd go buy this computer, but for those who don't build and would rather buy, you know, Alienware, they're maybe not what they used to be on one hand, but at the same time, they are Alienware. This is a, you know, this is a top-of-line computer, no doubt about it. But an Intel iCore i5-8400, 8th Gen, 6-core version of it, 8GB RAM, 1TB hard drive, GeForce GTX 1080 Ti, so basically like the best video card on earth. $13.99. That's a $939 video card on its own, if I'm not mistaken. So a completely built-up i5 variation. Human engineering. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Jesse's always got my back. What else? Some other deals there also mentioned at this IGN, blah, blah, blah. But I did like that Alienware because it's hard to go wrong. I am only mentioning it. I am not a huge Dell fan, but I know some people aren't in a position to build their own. So, yeah, Jamie, cheap, but only an i5. That's exactly what struck my brain. But, I mean, I've raced on i5s, and an 8400 6-core i5 is more than you need for sim racing. It's just a matter of, is that all you do with your computer? You know, I learned that the hard way in the world of streaming, for example. Kart Racing Pro, which we've talked about, they have a release number 6 with HUD, NVR, track IR support, animated flags, trainer transparency, notifications when the window is minimized, and M6 bodywork. So, improving Kart Racing Pro, which was pretty fun. I had a little good time with that one. Project Cars 2, just letting you know, and this is, maybe we'll go after this one just because I don't mind jumping around in every sim right now, driving this 991, 911, RSR, whatever you want to call it, Porsche. But Race 3 in their triple threat, as they call it, their ACR triple threat, and that's not Avid Chronic Racing. But anyway, they are running that car in this week's challenge. GT5 for Race 1, GT4 for Race 2, and GTE for Race 3. So another online competition just to keep you guys, if you're not in a league, we're just looking for somewhere to go have some fun. There's a good place to have some fun. Truck Driver. So this is at envisioncommunity.co.uk. A new game called Truck Driver that is coming soon. We see a lot of different variations of truck sims, but for all you truck aficionados, we really didn't get to see much, did we? No, we really didn't. There's a truck going by. Yep, it's a truck game. There you go. It's a truck game. Breaker, breaker. It's a truck game. When I was at E3, they had a trials bike in one of the giant booths, and I had very, very little time to deal with E3. But Trials, the original Trials was really fun. I really enjoyed that game and played a lot more of it than you would ever imagine. But Trials Rising is another variation of a Trials game. They actually make for pretty good mission-based driving type games. You know, certain challenges, get through each thing. I would like to try this one out. I'm going to have to contact these developers and be like, hey, I want to do this on a Monday Fun Day. And I'll bet you I would play beyond the hours that I stream. Because to me, this just does look like fun. What can I say? That looks fun. So this is soon coming. Do I have a date for you guys? Sorry. February 2019. So it is a ways away. About 6 months off still. So i5 to i7's a big jump, but i7 to i9 not so much. And Josh is going to stick to the traditional Euro Truck and American Truck Simulator and not move over to our new Truck Driver game. Codemasters, you know, I saw this on their Twitter feed and it went over my head. And I'm like, what's this gibberish? Grid, CM Games, down, what? Code, and this is them posting, not something, Then they got Codemasters team. Games, Archive, Inf, Back, Comped. I'm like, whatever, and I didn't mention it. And then it was sent in to me by The Man in one of his stories on what that really is. True Achievements has the article, but Codemasters teases new backwards compatibility edition coming soon. So for those of you who loved some of the old school Codemasters games, looking at the list, I mean, F1 2010, Dirt 2, old school version of the game, F1 Race Stars, come on, that would be fun to fire up again. Grid. So if you're sitting on an old catalog and you're no longer able to play those, Codemasters is currently working on that. And so this is for the Xbox 360, it looks like. And then there are some other ones on the list as well. So that's good news. That could be fun, and that could help somebody on a weekend that's raining and they're bored and stuck in the house and just looking for something else to do. This is a big deal. I believe Saudi Arabia is the last place where women on earth that women were not allowed to drive. As absurd, in 2018, as absurd as that statement or thought is, the day before yesterday, women couldn't drive a car, period, in Saudi Arabia. Anyway, yesterday, or over the weekend, I should say, at Paul Ricard, in front of 65,000 spectators, I'm going to butcher her name, Asil Al-Hamad was the first Saudi woman to drive a Formula One car. So not only did women, and I did see it all over the news, and women in their, you know, head coverings driving cars, but this was a very big deal. And, you know, women are making a big run at sports right now. Women are making a big run at running companies. We talked about the top 5 women developers. We talked about the women's gaming seminar. We met Emily Jones. We know of sim racers out there. We know of real life racers. The women can hold their own in a car, in an automobile, and it is a very big deal that women in Saudi Arabia finally have the right to drive. And if they couldn't drive, think of how many other rights they probably don't have. And I don't want to get too political, but you know, I'm a real equal for all kind of thing when it comes to everything in life. End of story. So anyway, another article from True Achievements, weekend announcement. So these are games that are going to be on the Xbox One service, but you'll be able to play for free if you have, I think you have to have their membership, their gold pass or whatever they call theirs. But starting on July 13th, you will be able to play Danger Zone and Dangerous Driving. Just thought I'd let you know about that. You can get the more details at trueachievements.com. Tech Power Up talking about Asus giving away 4 games with Radeon graphics. So they're trying to, you know, motivate purchase on various different products to clear house on them. But among the games are the Surge, whatever, Blood Bowl, whatever. Spin Tires. You want to get a free copy of Spin Tires and you need a video card, you might want to check out Asus branded if you're thinking AMD, or Farming Simulator 17. Participating retailers include Aria, OCUK, Scan, Box, CCL, eBuyer, and Novatech. That article is at Tech Power Up. Tech Power Up with another article just talking about Nvidia holding back the new gen of video cards. Why? Because they have too many of the old ones, and if they bring out the new ones, they're going to have to clearance sales. So maybe some funny business going on from Nvidia, and you think of that whole spike and drought on video cards, and then them trying to increase production probably in order to keep up with demand, then demand falling out, and then they're stuck with billions of cards, which is billions of dollars, blah, blah, blah. New gen are being held out on us. Sim Race Hardware-News-Test blog has sighting of the SRM hand wheels, Handicrafts made in Deutschland. Gorgeous looking wheel options for wheel upgrade or OSW or Bodner direct drive type drivers. Yep, looks like that same adapter that I have on my wheel, Bucho had on his wheel. I'm sure you could even adapt that to the Sim Experience. And Darren, you in the chat, what do you guys call the on your own version? Look at that. That is pro. That is pro all the way. Anyway, cool thing to look at and take a look at. Well, that takes us to the end of the show. So, who's this? Who's this guy? That's James Tiberius Kirk. That is Captain Kirk. If you don't know James Kirk, you probably know his voice. James Kirk is an announcer. He does a lot of work with Mercedes, with Race Room. He was the announcer at that live event at Nordschleife for the Race Room WTCR event. And, you know, if there's one thing the Simpit is known for, I mean, we're known for a bunch of things, but one of the things we are known for, it's interviews. We've interviewed drivers, developers, just industry-related people. I don't know if I've ever done an interview with somebody who is really on the inside of the broadcasting aspect of sim racing. Seeing it from the inside on an esport level, on the magnitude of a Nordschleife esport WTCR event like that Race Room event that was huge. This guy is one of the leaders when it comes to our industry, when it comes to that crossover from sim racing into the real life esport. And I want to talk to him about the same things we always talk about. You know, he's a sim racer as well. We'll talk sim racing a little bit. We'll talk about equipment. I also want to talk a lot about esport and what's going on there and how things are playing out and get his take on where we are and where we're going in this real interesting time in sim racing. We're transferring from just being this little hobby to being a professional sport of sorts. So it should be a great conversation. We're doing that at 11 o'clock. That's an hour and a half from right now. That'll be done live with James Kirk. And if you would like to be there at 11 o'clock. And of course, you can watch it later if that time doesn't work out for you. But the live version of it will be done at 11 o'clock. Spatial, true. And I've done some announcing as well, and I think some of the other people we've talked to have actually announced some races. But this is somebody who's really on the leading edge of it, way beyond the people we just named there. So it should be a completely different take. He stood up on the big stage, you know, when there was huge money and all of the best sim racers there putting it on the line. He got to see their faces. He got to see the sweat on their brows. And that should give him a different insight than any of us ever would have had on these type of events. So I think it'll be a lot of fun. Should be interesting. And all the patron guys, you guys, I'll be watching for your questions. I'll be looking for everybody's questions. So it'll be a live interview. Anybody who has any thoughts or questions on things, be sure to be there live for the review. So that is going to do it. I'm going to finish today's show with another additions to the Simpit map. You know, I don't know why I stopped doing this for a while, and then we brought it back, and I'm really glad we did, because yesterday we had 5 new members of the Simpit Pit Crew team chiming in from various different places. We got Mark from Hong Kong. Thank you, Mark. Jason from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Virgil from College Park, Georgia. Mikhail from Warsaw, Poland, who's only 15 years old and a big fan of the show, and Darren from Swindon, UK. So 5 new pins added to the map, and the Simpit Pit Crew is growing. We are having more fun. I see 123 of us here for the live show. Love your guys' thoughts and input on the show, and it's always a blast doing this with you. So that is going to do it for today. We will be back at 11 with that interview, and then back tomorrow with another edition of the Pit Stop. This is the Simpit. I'm Sean Cole, and I'll see you on the track.